Hey, good day, everybody. How y'all doing? Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of Predator and the Prey. You know what I'm saying? With the beauty and the beast. As you know, I am the beauty. So what
Yes,
that would make
yes,
you?
yes. We
What
take
that would
that.
make you? If
Take
I'm the
that.
beauty, what that gonna make you?
That makes
The
me the
beast.
beast.
It
You
make you the
see,
beast or whatever.
I have my sort of tough girl jacket on
What's that
tonight.
on? What you got on? You look. Was you working out?
Yeah, I'm working out. Yeah, I'm working out. Of course, I work out five
No, I
days a
know you
week.
do, but I'm saying I'm seeing that. What you got on there, man? I'm hot and all outdoors. I'm ready to take everything off you, man.
Well,
You
this
know.
is old school. This goes back. This is diesel. So you know this is old school.
Okay,
Old school.
all
This
right.
is the good. This is the good stuff. Look, it even got look.
Hey Tina, thank you for joining in. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for shining in. Right now is once again, like I said, we got a hell of a guest. We got Mr. Charles Allen, and right now is we're going to be talking about today's topic is at risk. And people do not understand when you hear the word at risk, it go deeper than the original surface. And a lot of times when you hear at risk, I'm thinking at risk child,
Right.
because I was once an at risk child, you know. But right now is here. Let me introduce my lovely co-host, the lovely Dr. Elisa.
The real beauty in this Beauty and Beast situation. So that shall be me. Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Elisa, the mental health practitioner and co host of this whole Glaze experience.
Okay.
So thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I see we got Armand Davis. Hey, salute, bro. Salute. Right now is, you know what? Let's get topic. Let's get going. Like for example, let's talk about to me, like some of the situation. What we had is off camera, and we was talking about, what was going on in Atlanta and how we feel. Like, the prosecutor down in Atlanta, what she doing in Fulton County, she prosecuting these young thugs, these young rappers, based upon their action, their behavior, based upon lyrics and some of the rap song. So once again, what she's trying to say is, guess what? They're talking about it. And not only that, they rapping about it and putting on vinyl and going across all the streaming platform and bragging about the stuff that they
Wait,
do.
wait. I
Go
need
ahead.
to interrupt you. I need to interrupt you
Go ahead.
because that is a problem for me. The question is, who does that? Who raps about their crimes in real time? Can you explain that to me? This is your area of expertise. You are a reformed individual who was involved in criminogenic behaviors. Did you announce them? Did you like send out smoke signals to like pink houses or to South Queen? Like, what did you do to let the boys up in Fort Greene know you was coming, or in Vanderbilt? Or can you help me out?
You don't. And right now is
Oh, sorry. Okay,
you,
good.
you don't, because once again, like I said right now, was even when I was living in that sick world and had that sick mentality, no, you, even when you do, the objective is when you come and you want to take something that don't belong to you for other people that have what you think you want and they're belonging, you're going to definitely come ski mask way because you don't want nobody to know who you are. So
Who put that in
automatically,
there? Someone had that in their song, the Ski Mask Way.
that was
I know
Biggie.
you got that from a rap
No,
song.
but because that's reality. Because
Like
once
Biggie.
again, you ski mask because you don't want them to know who you are. So
Right.
why in the heck being that you don't want them to know who you are, that you're gonna go about rapping and bragging about it after the fact? You don't do that. So it's a different time, it's a different era, and it's a different place. So even
Well,
right now,
I mean, I hate it's just that Glaze, it's just something about this new era of criminals that just never cease to amaze us, John Q public. I mean, they're like robbing people that are in their community that they seen on, some kind of television show or somewhere. So now we're going after celebrities because they're flaunting some kind of extravagant lifestyle. And so Who is giving them their directions? Who is leading this pack?
But sit back and think about it. Look what you're talking about. So if I'm hungry, and I'm living in the jungle and I'm starving and oh snap, food, prey, I'm going to get that prey. So once again, these guys right now I guess they want to live off the land. They don't want to be working class and go get a job. They want the easy way. So once again, they see somebody flaunting and act like they have more than what they have. And right now it's like simple fact. I was telling you a story earlier. Like a lot of times people front like they got it all and they really don't have anything. As a kid, at 17 years old in Cyprus, this guy walking around with a bunch of gold jewelry on. Right now, I'm seeing this guy. I don't know who he is. So he got rings and watch and, all this chain and medallion. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute here. What I'm thinking, oh man, I got to go get this. I'm thinking about British Orcas, Adidas, boy, Marknet,
not the British Walkers, Yeah, no,
that's what I'm thinking about. So automatically right now, when I see this guy and I go up on him and click on him with my little 25, this guy like blood clot mind, you must be don't know who I am. And I'm like, click. I don't care. If you don't give me what I want, guess what? You're gonna know who I am. So long story short, I didn't know him. But he was an older guy in the neighborhood coming around trying to impress these girls like he had like that. I took all that jewelry from him, all that stuff he had on his neck and his everything. And you know what got me is when I went to the, even before my objective, I'm taking the 4750 Street. You know what I'm saying? Diamond Exchange, Diamond District. Because when everybody started talking about all these guys, you know what I'm saying, Jacob the Jewelers or whatever, I took it down there where those guys be. Because I want to get paid. I want to be fly. I think right now I'm gonna come up with a couple $1,000 and hold what happened. I'm just saying back then.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm 17.
I'm asking the expert.
I'm 17. So what I did is I go up, look, once I took it, go upstairs and examine it, and guess what? It's fake.
Wow.
Every piece of jewelry.
So the only thing you took was his dignity.
Yeah. And guess what? Years later, he joined the A team. I was going to get murdered behind me, robbing him 3.5 years before that.
Are you kidding me? So the A team is the guys out in Queens. Is that?
No, they
no. Oops, sorry. Sorry, guys.
The Supreme team is from Queens. The A team.
Dr. E just don't know her teams. I'm sorry. Shout out to all the teams. I apologize. I'm sure there was very important distinctions.
Yeah, it was.
Can you share with us the distinctions?
No, the difference is the Supreme team was mostly 5%ers. Right now their leader was Kenneth McGriff. You know what I'm saying? Which was Supreme.
Shout out to Kenneth McGriff. I've heard a lot about him.
Gerald Prince Miller.
Legendary. He's legendary.
Gerald Prince Miller, who is Cream nephew.
Legendary.
So they had a hell of a squad. And the A team, like I said right now, they were from Brooklyn.
Huh?
The A team was from Brooklyn. And right now you got, they started out forming the A team to prevent crime in the neighborhood, to prevent the Jamaicans and Dominicans from coming to East New York and taking over. So, and then right now, one thing led to another, then they got involved with the drug game.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The DA in Atlanta, she's not having it. And so she arrested the 26, I don't know how many, 16, 18, 26. It was over a dozen individuals for allegedly basically terrorizing their community in Fulton County. And she said, you can do all of that, but you won't do it here. You can take that and put that where? Back there. Back, wait, back. And she even did a rap. Boop, back, 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 back. Yeah, there.
I think you should leave that to the entertainer.
Leave that to the
leave that to
the rappers who tell where they get ready to do their next jukes.
Yeah, leave that to them or whatever, Yeah.
Okay.
Even with that being said, so to me, when you sit back and think about it, for people to have that type of behavior, I think right now is I call them at risk. And today, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna bring in, what I'm saying, no other than our special guest, Mr. Charles Allen. And right now, is with that being said, right now is I'm gonna allow him to, come on the platform, introduce himself, and give us a quick breakdown and elaborate as we go deep into at risk. So no further ado, here is Mr. Charles Allen. How you doing,
Hey
sir?
man, good.
Was
How are
you
you?
back there laughing at us? Was you back there laughing?
Yeah, I was cracking up at the I love what Brian said. Leave it to the entertainers. Let them do their thing. Everybody got their lane. They should stay in it.
I'm good. He already coming throwing shade at Dr. E. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, I got it. I caught that. I caught that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that yes, this is going to be an amazing conversation because as we discussed the situation in Fulton County with the arrest of over a dozen gang members for very deviant, destructive behavior to their fellow neighbors, does that put them at risk? Were they already at risk? Is that considered high risk? Why would young people want to engage in this kind of activity? And what in fact is high risk? What is putting someone at risk for something? I feel like we're all at risk for
Yeah.
something. So what is that?
Yeah. I would say, yeah. I mean, what is it? I think the last statistic I read was, 60% of Americans are at risk of being homeless within, 1 month of paychecks, right? Like, so we're all at risk at something when it relates to, high crime, high poverty, high, inflation and so forth. But to answer your question about these individuals, were they already at risk? I was like, yeah, they're already at risk. The problem is that we've normalized so many things that we don't even know that we're even at risk, right? Mm-hmm. Because what gets socialized is what gets normalized in a person's mind, right? So if you introduce me and say, this is what you keep introducing to me, that as a man, I can only do so much, right? As a black man, I can only do so much. As a black man, I'm failing. As a black man, I'm this or that, right? You keep socializing that in my mind, and then you put me in an environment that says, all I can ever achieve is the things I want out of life. The only way to achieve it is through crime, through drug dealing, through gang banging, through robbery, or whatever the case may be, then that's what I'm going to do. But then if you ask me, am I at risk? They're going to be, they'd be like, at risk of what? Like, this is my norm. This is my life, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people don't know they're at risk because it's been normalized, right? It's just been, our society has, it's not a coincidence that you look at, there are so many, just take it for instance, talking about our music, right? And there's so many dope artists that are, I'm not saying they, they're positive lyrics, telling stories, keeping, people out, getting them something to think about. But those are not the ones that get popularized. Those are not the ones that a lot of record labels get behind. Why? Because they want to keep socializing, again, this negative lifestyle. So then now I think this is the way we live. This is the way it goes, right? If I hear my favorite artist or I see someone on TV, they don't get consequences for that, right? And then, what am I going? What consequences am I going to get?
And
so,
go ahead. You know what, Charles? You're right. And where, as far as I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm a big component because, once again, what sells? Drama, negativity, violence. So once again, if I come over here preaching or rapping about positivity, hey man, my name is Glaze, and I go to school, get good grades, and right now is I got I'm striving for a career or whatever the case, or I met this young lady and I know she's gonna be my wifey, whatever the situation might be. So if I come out positive, then guess what? That don't sell as far as through streaming or through record or through album. So I don't hit number one. I'm at a scale from 1,000 rating to 1. I'm at 999. So guess what? Nobody get behind you. But if I come out there like you see on The Real Housewife of, whatever, or, Loving Hip Hop, and we get into an altercation, everybody going, ooh, ah. So drama sell. When we talking to Captain Dennis about, clean rap, that don't sell.
It don't sell. It does. You think about, in this realm of, and I don't want to get over into Dr. Lisa's world, but from a psychology standpoint, right? Like if you think about what you introduced to me, and then tell me this is what you aspire to, and that's what you put in front of me all day, then that's where my mindset is going to be, right? That's where my mind locks in on. That's where I go, and that's what I end up producing out of life. Because again, I can only, if you're driving a car, if you look to the right, your car veers to the right. So that's the same way it is in life, right? Like whatever you focus on, that's the direction of your life, and that's the direction your life goes.
Well, it's interesting because we're talking about being at risk and high risk and how you can get to in this space sort of organically or by your birth, right, situation, because we can't control what we are born into. And then also what you bring onto yourself in terms of what kinds of behaviors and actions you engage in based on whatever trauma or other things that are going on in your life that then cause you to engage in risky behavior. But the Center for Disease Control, right, defines high-risk behaviors as acts that increase the risk of disease or injury, which can subsequently lead to disability, right, death or social problems, which we see quite often in communities of color, particularly BIPOC communities. The most common high-risk behaviors include violence, alcoholism, tobacco use, tobacco. That's my act. Tobacco. Sorry, tobacco.
Tomato. It's
tomato,
all
tomato. Right. Use risky sexual behaviors and eating disorders. So it's interesting that I've never even thought about an eating disorder as a risky behavior, or a high risk behavior. But you're right, it can lead to food becomes a crutch to mask other pain, right? Other situations that are going on in our life. Also, what kinds of foods we have access to also has a lot to do with how much money we have, right? Or our understanding around food, our awareness around what's good or bad for us. So tell us a little bit about who you are, Charles, and why this issue is so important to you.
Yeah. Well, as I said to Brian one day, is that, I do for people what really I desire for somebody to do for me is to step into my life. And ultimately someone did, but help me think through what it means to be a man, what it meant to be a father, a husband, and all those things that I wanted out of life, because I was raised by my great grandparents predominantly. When my parents, when I was conceived, my parents were teenagers. My mom was 16, had me at 17. Father was 19. My father was a lead guitar player, playing in bands and trying to build his, doing what he did, in that aspect. My mom was a dancer, and not pole dancer, but a dancer in like the bands.
Did he say pole?
Not a pole dancer.
I'm gonna turn off his mic.
You need to clarify that, because when you say dancer, people automatically go towards.
I can't.
She was, she was.
Dancing actually is very good for you. It works out every aspect of your body.
Just keep it between you and your significant other in your home. That's all good. But no, because see, here's the thing, right? Because me and my wife get these conversations about, victim blaming. And that's what we do a lot of times when we talk about at risk, right? You just listed all those things, but society puts them in front of you and then say, if this is your only option, just like you said, healthy food, right? If I don't have access to healthy food and you put only options you put in front of me is junk food, and then I eat that junk food, then you blame me for being unhealthy and at risk for stroke, at risk for diabetes, at risk for those things. It's the same thing in crime, right? It's the same thing in violence. If that's what you put before them, then it's easy because you say, oh, they made that choice to be addicted. They made that choice to be on drugs. They made that choice to join a gang. Well, what other options did you give me, right? Like, what other options did you show me? And so for me, and what we do is we just try to show people what the other options are, right? Like, here is what you can aspire to, right? Like, and I talked about my parents, but, and the one thing about it is, I also was a teenage father. I had 2 kids at 17, repeating that cycle, right? Now they were 4 months apart. Now that, do the math, right? Like,
are you pole dancing?
No, see,
No,
you're doing too much.
I'm just
like right now, even what we talk about is at the risk. And right now, what I don't want to do is right now is like get caught up into like one thing too long that when the end of it, we didn't get to the meat of everything. So, once again, even with that being said, like I said right now is what do you think? Because at first, like to me, when I look at risk, I look at me between the age of 14 to 24, I was at risk because I was out there poisoning and hurting and killing my community directly and indirectly. And right now, something that you say that I thought was very, very interesting, because once again, to me, a lot of times we don't know we're at risk because we think that behavior is normal when it's not.
And it's not. Exactly. And so, when you look at, repeating the cycle of failure, right? And repeating those cycles, that's what we end up doing. But when you talk about being at risk, so here it is, I came up in the era in our town in Toledo, which is vastly slower than New York and Chicago and Detroit and all these other places. So some things may have been prevalent there that we didn't get until mid to late 80s, right? Like, so some things would have been going on in some of the bigger cities much longer. But I just remember that literally one summer, here it is, everybody rapping and dancing against each other because, we hip hop kids and that's all we know, break dancing, rapping, and this, and then those who were sports, we created our own sports teams and played against different sides of town. Well, it looked like we went to school, and then next summer, here it is, gangs and crack is hit, right? So now everybody is a gangbanger, or everybody is a hustling on, selling drugs. They're corner boys, whatever, so we had to grow, growing up in that. Then here it is, you don't know, you just see this is normal behavior. This is just normal, right? This is just what everybody else is doing. So what else am I going to do? So we try to help people understand that there is a different way, just like somebody eventually did for me, right? Because growing up with 2 generations removed, because my great grandparents, so now that means I got the same upbringing that my grandmother got, right? So that skips, so they only could equip me with so much, right? So then now what I learned from my dudes on the street. I learned from my peers, the people that was around me. Those became my teachers because that's what I was introduced to,
Okay, you know what? Something what Lee say. Perversion or normalcy, I think, is a gradual no thing in this country. Seen to be normal, but form a standard for everyone, much less for those on the bottom social economic tiers. So even like you said right now about reading some of these comments and trying to get a better understanding exactly like what is what. And to me, like you said right now, where it's like to me, like what do you think caused? Even right now, Dr. Elisa, what do you think caused? Like these risky behavior. Whereas, like to me, between the age of 14 to 24, when I jump up that porch, and basically I didn't know it back then, but technicality, I had a death wish along with Tut and all those people that grew up in our community, because some of the things that we doing right now, we did it not knowing. We knew we could have got our head knocking off, get killed. We knew we could have went to jail, but yet and still, regardless of what, we did it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say peer pressure plays a significant role or part in some of the behaviors that we engage in. I think everything starts in the home and the caregivers and the sort of the village around us that helps to raise us and support us and guide us and to provide direction for us. Sometimes that village isn't as strong as it ought to be or should be because of other systemic issues that are going on in communities that can prevent um, people or adults from totally providing the kinds of information that youngsters need in order to succeed. I think people are dealing with things like child abuse, unresolved trauma, families that are broken, where there's, like you said, no cohesiveness between the two people who have given birth to a child. A mother has given birth, but it takes two people to create. And so people are being raised by, extended relatives and families. And so, yeah, there's so many factors that go on in a community, particularly in those early years of our development, that could cause one to seek the approval and validation from other members in the community that may or may not be as savvy as we would want them to be, or may be in many ways very much dysfunctional. And so we gravitate to people who pay attention to us, that seem to protect us. And I also think people engage in certain activities out of fear, right? And so if you are you are a part of a gang, you may do that because that feels like protection. People overeat because they're trying to mask some kind of anxiety or depression. People eat bad foods because they're just unaware, like Charles said, about what are healthy options. They only eat what's available to them, and what's quick and fast. So there's so many elements to it. It's not an easy answer, but I can tell you each and every one of us at some point in our life will be at risk for something. And so it's important for us as a community to get it together so that we can understand how to intervene and augment the challenges in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's very, very powerful. And what I'm saying is, like to me, even right now, is I just put a
Is
comment.
that I need to stop. Terrence, don't come in here, messing with Terrence. Is he a gangster? Is that
Terrence
gangster?
Gangster William.
All
Wow.
right, why?
Wow.
You're
Hey,
here like bullying our podcast. Thank
we like
you,
to
Terrence. Nice to see
say
you.
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for joining us, Terrence. Right now, Terrence got a unique story. Right now is, like I say, he just been released probably like less than 8 months ago from doing 24 years. Right now is here it is. He was part of, his brother is Birdman, and they was part of, like I said, right now, Cash Money Record with Genuine, Lil Wayne, and all those guys, whatever. So right now is like with him, he was once like at risk, and he got this nonprofit organization going on. He got a large following on YouTube, about things like this in the nature. Because once again, like he got his you know what I'm saying, nonprofit organization is called Hug the Block. Because once again, how do we get together and build together to stop these kids from picking up that brick, making that multi-billion-dollar prison system their permanent address? How do we stop these young kids from going to that graveyard of a violent death at an early age before they even had their first kids? So it's a lot of things, and you got a lot of good people that this subject matter is near and dear to their heart.
Yeah. Well, because you got to realize that you we deal with people on three realms: circumstances, choices, and relationships. Right? Like, so some circumstances you can never change, right? Those are, so you're born into them, or they're just parental, they're environmental, whatever the case is, right? But you do have choices, and you do control the relationships you put in your life. But the problem is that if the relationships that I have, and I'm not taught how to make wise choices, that's why it takes people like Terrence that has a nonprofit that says hug the block. Why? Because I got to give you something, right, that you're not getting somewhere else, right? I got to give you something that you haven't received yet before. So then when we talk about, being at risk and how to deal with these life situations and overcome all these things, then somebody will have to show me and teach me what choices do I need to make that's going to lead to success, right? And then help me know it's possible. The problem is, and I come from a church world where, if you don't show up a certain way and look a certain way, then you're judged, you're shun, and you ain't, you're not part of the crew. So then you get pushed out and then get accepted by someplace else, right? But we've been teaching church leaders that you got to embrace people regardless of how they look, where they come from, because now with the truth that you say you have, that we have as believers, then we have to give that now to these young people and give it to them with love, and not with this iron fist, and not with judgment, and not with we got to beat you down in order to build you up. Like, no, I can pick you up right where you are and do that, because that person for me was a pastor, right? Like, my dad was there, but he, again, knowing what he know. My mom was there, but knowing what she know, right? But the best thing that could have happened to me was introducing me to somebody who had truth, patience, and love that showed me, this is how you navigate a room. This is how you network. This is how you build business. This is how you build a family. This is how you be a father, right? And so those are the things that was helpful for me, that got me out of that realm of being at risk, right? Like, so you had, when I was growing up, you had three groups of, in the hood, right? You had those that we went to school with. They was either good scholars, academically they were good, or they were good at sports. Sometimes they were both, right? Then you had those who had already sort of accepted this path of going down the wrong road, so to speak, right? But then you had someone like myself who, okay, I wasn't a big scholar, wasn't a sports person. So then I wasn't accepted by that, but I'm being accepted by this crew over here that's saying, oh, we got you, right? So then now here it is, I'm making a decision. I got to make a choice. Well, before I could actually make that choice to go down the wrong path, somebody intervenes, right? And I had made the choice. I'm almost in there. I'm trying to comp something. I'm trying to, re-up and trying to do all these things. But, somebody like, hey, this ain't for you, right? This is not for you. And so it's that intervening and showing me. But if somebody would have just said, hey, you can do better for yourself without showing me how to do better, then what am I going to do? You put a belief in me that now, without showing me, creates failure after failure. Then I get this compound failure to the point I just give up. And that's where a lot of people are. They just had compound failure, one thing after another, because somebody told them they should do something different, but never showed them, never taught them.
Okay.
I have a question, Glaze. I mean, he mentioned love. It came up several times in his, conversation. I'm curious, is love an emotion or is it an action?
It is an action, and you can love without the emotion, right? Like I can decide to love this brother, this sister, and love them in a way that says, because see, love says, if I want something for me, I want the same thing for you, right? When the scripture says, love the Lord with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind. It says the second commandment, which is the same, love your neighbor as yourself, right? So then now I don't have to know you to love you. I don't have to know you to have a brotherly love for you, to want you to succeed in life, right? I can make that choice to show you something different, right? I love you because you look like me. I love you because you're a human. I love you because you have potential, and I want to show you something different, right? If I just wait on the emotion, then that emotion is skewed by what? By desires, by something I can gain or not gain, so the emotions is always going to be all over the board. But if I make a conscious choice now to say, I'm going to love you like I love myself, but the key is me loving me.
Okay,
So
look what you're saying. All right, even right now, a lot of times people like to utilize that word
Mm-hmm.
LOVE.
mhm,
And right now not quite understanding what is love, because once again, and I'm not trying to copyright nobody what my girl Tina Turner say what love got to do with it, because once again, in certain situation, you got people that love, like I got people that I love.
I love you, Glaze.
You know what I'm saying? I got people that I love that I'm responsible for their death. So in
mhm,
actuality, what the hell love got to do with it? What
yeah,
I'm just trying to say right now is, how can we like to say you can't pick and choose when to turn love on and off. Love is not a light switch. You turn it on and you turn it off. And see,
right,
that's what people got to understand. Like getting these, like right now, like to me, and right now, Charles, I'm getting fired up because I want people when they come on this platform to get something out of it. I don't want
yeah,
people coming there, oh man, it feel like we was in Sunday school, and man, like ain't feel no energy. No. That's not what this is about. I got you on here, and I need to bring out the best in you, like I'm pulling the teeth, like in pain, fire, passion, because I want people to understand like the pain that we went through and the pain that we trying to prevent these other people that's at risk, whether it's from an economical standpoint, whether it's from a right now a mental health standpoint, whether it's from a homeless standpoint, whatever standpoint that it is. I'm trying to get people to understand, guess what? These are real issues that's happening day in and day out in so many different communities that we have to put our hands on the pulse and stop the bleeding before it becomes extremely too late. Because otherwise, right now is, guess what? You're gonna have a lot of people that love each other, pulling the trigger on each other, poison each other.
well, I would disagree, because see, here's the thing, right? Like, you talk about love as a light switch. Yeah, that's the love that's emotionally driven, right? I'm talking about a conscious choice to say, I want your life to be better, right? And not that I just want your life to be better. I want to step in and walk with you to show you how it's going to get better, right? Like now, people see the 50-year-old Charles Allen, in a suit jacket, in executive positions and owning businesses, right? But that Charles Allen was not the version of Charles Allen that was 17, wilding out with two kids, struggling through life, trying to figure it out, right? Trying to hustle his way through. And then when I decided to stop hustling, now standing in a food line, where I said, okay, now, right? So now I don't look like where I've come from, right? But the thing of it is, that's because I shouldn't look like where I come from, right? Because some things have to become new so I can show you that this is the possibility, right? Like, this is the kid that was a high school dropout that now runs businesses, that now owns companies, that now runs nonprofits. This is that kid, right? So then, so when we talk about the pain is change, and it's going to be painful to change, right? We can harp and we can get all excited about the problems. That's the problem. The solution is me jumping in your life and showing you a different way. That's the solution. The
I like
solution
it.
is us coming
I'm going
together
to jump in
and
here
doing it.
because I feel like, I am the third person, the woman here. And so I need to offer the female perspective. Um, One of the things that I think love is safety. And so love feels safe, love feels secure. And I think that sometimes young people join gangs and sometimes engage in unhealthy behaviors, whether they're young or old, because it feels safe.
Mhm.
So if it's protective, it brings comfort. So we can talk about love, but yet if people aren't seeing it in action, like you stated, in a home, in an environment, they're going to gravitate towards what feels safe. And when you feel safe, you feel love.
Yeah.
So
So,
that is so I think
so
one of
then
the
what happens
answers is
when,
that we
so
need
what
to.
happens when that safety is, well, you know what? He hits me upside my head. He tells me he loves me, right? But uh, but yet I'm safe. I feel safe because he takes care of me. But yet he hits me every day, tells me he loves me, and he takes care of me. So then now I'm skewed in that, right? Like
So you're connecting safety to a fiscal safety. So I
yeah,
feel
because we don't
financially
know. Because
safe.
sometimes if we're at risk, we don't know what safety is. Like we don't know what real relationships are, right? Because I
But it
use
brings
relationships to
comfort.
survive, right? If I'm at risk, I'm using relationships to survive, right? I care nothing about
But
you,
you
but
do
if
need
you let me,
relationships to survive. The
like,
problem
yeah,
is whether
but you could
they're
also
healthy
use
or
relationships to
unhealthy.
thrive too, right? Either relationships
Survive,
need
thrive, but they
thrive
can be
or
healthy
just
or
survive.
unhealthy. Hmm.
Yeah, right. Because okay, for instance, if I'm homeless, you got a house, I don't care nothing about you, right? But I can put on the charm and then allow you to let me sleep in your house. Well, that's just survival, right? That's not me thriving. That's just you allowing me to sleep on your couch. It's just
Well,
I
if
get
you
from one
hustled
day
me
to the
into,
next.
if you felt that you was able to hustle someone into sleeping on their couch, you were still surviving. That's all
Yeah,
you had to offer. You didn't have
yeah.
money. You didn't have an exchange. All your exchange was what you was able to finesse in terms of your words. The question that I have is, are we as a people demonstrating, showing in
Mm-hmm.
our actions self-love, love in our homes, love in our families, so that our children understand healthy love,
Yeah.
healthy safety situations, safe
Mm-hmm.
situations.
Yeah. So we deal with families that we say, okay, there is love, but then there is addiction, there's homelessness, there's all these things. But yet you can't tell that mother that she don't love her child, right? Because she does. But she has a problem. She has issues that she's holding on to that's putting that child in an unsafe environment. So if I come along and say, okay, we love this family, now my execution, because somebody says, well, okay, that's the blueprint, how you going to execute it? Then I roll up my sleeves and I walk with this individual to help them see that, okay, you love them. Now this is how you come off of these situations. This is how I can put you in a home, right? We've put more people in home without government assistance than and helping them understand that this address won't solve all your problems, but it gives you space to help figure it out. And then not only is it going to give you space to help figure it out, but we're going to stand in that space with you and help you and give you the blueprint to how to come out of this, right? Because again, like you grew up in a family, great, right? But if that family is struggling and that family has toxicity in it, that family has addiction and abuse in it, then okay, what am I going to learn from that, right? But then now you abuse them, right? We blame the fish for dying in the polluted stream all the time, and we can't blame that fish, and that's what we do with our youth and our families that are at risk. We blame them for their problems.
Okay,
Well,
even with
we
that
got
being
to come
said,
out of that.
even with that being said, okay, right now is like I like what you say in regards to roll up your sleeve, getting your hands dirty, because that's what it's all about. How do we get back? But once again, I'm gonna ask a question and then I want you to go into depth. It's like how or what, you know what I'm saying, like service are you providing now? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that would be huge. But once again, how can we actually, like I'm saying, like right now, like love, like you trying to love me, you want to save me, you see something special in me, like Marvin Sapp, he saw the best in me. So you know, like right now, you see
Yeah.
something special, and I want to
Hmm.
save you. I love you, but right now is to me, I don't want you to save me. I don't love myself.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
right now is how you gonna turn that around? And if you able to
Be,
get turn around, get me to buy into your concept, what do you have to offer? What do
I
you
think you gotta be, first of all, we gotta learn how to be consistent in people's lives, right? Because if I don't love myself, I'm gonna do everything to push you away from me and get you to give up on me because everybody else is giving up on me. So first of all, be consistent, right? I'm gonna show up in your life and be consistent and be there. So and then as we get to build that relationship, now this is not like a quick fix type situation. I'm not going to, I can't put you in a program and then 12 weeks later, you go come out, a success. No, it's longer than that. When you walk with people, you got to walk with people through their hardship, through their aches, their pains, and be willing to. There was one lady we was working with. I remember her, she called me in the middle of the night. She in a trap house and owe somebody some money, right? So I got up out of bed, went to the trap house, paid the money, pulled her out of there, put her in a program, and then walked with her through the concept. Hooked her up with other women in our network that walked with her and help build her up. So those are the type of things that we have to do. Are you willing? When I say roll up the sleeve, that's what I mean. I mean roll up the sleeves and be willing to get dirty with that person and stand there and help pull them out, because and stay there long enough for them to see, oh, I want to do something different. Because 9 times out of 10, you ask somebody what they want out of life, we all want the same things. As Dr. Lee said, we want to be safe, we want to be loved, we want to have nice things, we want to, Maslow's hierarchy of need. We all need those things. We all want those things. The problem is we don't know how to achieve them. And so this is where we do that, right? When we were in the middle of COVID and they told us we couldn't run any programs and stuff like this, we got together. Okay, we don't have a funding, we don't have these things, but we put out every week. We say, you know what, we want to teach these young men and young women how just some basic life skills, right? We put it out on social media and we say, okay, week 1, we want to teach these young men how to change brakes and check oil and so forth, right there. Just do some basic stuff, right? So we put it out there. Hey, we need toolkits for these young kids to go home with. We need this. We had hundreds of toolkits show up, and we had hundreds of volunteers show up to sit with young people, show them how to change brakes, invited people just randomly come get your brakes changed so they can show them how to do those type of things, right? When we got, every week we did a different skill. Every week we did a different skill. And not only did we teach them the skill, we gave them the tools they can go off and do it for themselves, right? It's that old adage, right? You can give a man a fish to eat for a day, but you teach him how to fish, he can eat the rest of his life, right? And that's where we have to be willing to do, is be in a live person's life long enough to teach them something so they can do it for themselves. When we realized a lot of kids in our neighborhood was into what you all are doing now, podcasting, they're into, producing videos, they're into photography, they're into music and producing music. Well, we took a portion of our building and right now in the middle of building a recording studio so they can go in and have free studio time and get off the street, right, and produce something positive. We put in a videography room so they can go and do those things and learn it, right? And then not only just learn it, but then now let me take you through how to build a business, right? How to make money doing this, right? Put in those things. We put in a coding lab, right, so that kids can go there and our kids can learn how to code, right? Because our kids are consumers right now, right? In that neighborhood, they buying games, but now let me teach you how that game is produced and how that game is made. And you don't have to have a lot of money. We just reach out to people who know how to do it. Just come and show these kids some love and show them how to do something that they can do on their own, and then turn them loose and let them be great. Right?
Mhm.
That's it.
How many people do you service a year? Per year? How many people?
It varies. Last year we serviced 12 families, intact families. You know, the year prior to COVID, we were anywhere between 20 to 30. You know, over the course of COVID, which in that program we did for the youth, just grassroots, inviting people to come out and serve, like $0 invested in it. Like, you know, we had over almost 150 kids through that summer, you know. So and then now we're believing that once this studio is finished and once the videography room is finished, you know, we have room to service, you know, hundreds of kids each summer, plus, and then pull that for after school activities as well. And so we all try to do this without government assistance too. So we don't go write grants to the government, get grants. We just believe that, hey, you know, the community helping the community is how we gonna do it.
Hey, thank you. Before, you know, shout out to my sponsor, Panoxol. Panoxol, thank you very much. Anybody that have suffered from,
Shout out to you.
shout out to anybody that's out there suffering from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high weight, high sugar. Right now is, guess what? A lot of us don't want to go to the doctors, but you know what? We are suffering from some of these conditions. So Panoxol is a natural ingredient that combat, you know what I'm saying, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, you know what I'm saying, high sugar, high weight. Take advantage of it. Once again, shout out to my sponsor, Panoxol. To me, I take mine daily, getting back in shape, because once again, our body is our temple. And even right now, is a lot of stuff stem from what we putting in our body. And we putting poison into our system, guess what's gonna come out? Poison.
Yep, absolutely. Uh, and avoiding the things that will put us at risk for bad health,
Like you say, at
early
risk.
mortality, at risk,
At risk. Look, at risk.
One of the things before we end, I think this was really a great conversation. Thank you for joining us. You know, it's beautiful that you are helping like one person at a time and that you can see a certain level of success. But the one thing, and I think it's important for us to think about, how can we take this message and make it like a universal message that people understand that there's certain, I think, building blocks that help us to sort of create a healthier life, a healthier existence in this world. And what are those building blocks? Because if they're not really attached to a program like yours or an individual like yours, we know one of the things is you try to, you know, find yourself around people with like mind, right? And that have positive energy and positive souls and positive direction, right? But we know, like you said earlier, we can't control certain out, you know, who we're born to or the environments that we live in. So how do we pull ourselves out of that so that we don't engage in unhealthy activities or unhealthy behaviors that can get us, you know, lead us to early mortality or incarcerated or associated with bad people who are, you know, lead you into gang activity and the kinds of things that then hurt the larger society and community?
Yeah. I think, you know, one, everybody has something to offer and give. And no matter where you are, if you just simply help somebody else, you can be. I learned some of my biggest lessons from people who were drunk on the street corner that spewed out wisdom, right? And just talk to me every day. So it doesn't matter what situation you're in. I was reading an article about this gentleman that was in prison where these old cats got him and just taught him something different because he had a short stint, and these were lifers, right? And so they helped him say, okay, we don't want to see you back in here. So when you get out, this is the moves you need to make, right? They in the bad situation, but they still had something to offer. And so I just say, look within yourself and realize what you have to offer, right? And give that to somebody. It don't have to be a program. You don't have to make it formal, right? Just give it to somebody. Give what you have learned in life to somebody else and be committed to just stepping and walking with somebody and helping them through it. Just step out there and do it. That's it.
Mm.
So like that Nike commercial, just do it.
Just get out there and help somebody.
Because once again, like you say, we say just do it.
Yeah.
So when you listen to that, it sounds so easy. But once
Yeah.
again, it's like right now, it's like I was once that problem. And if I don't go through what I went through and all that pain and all that suffering, then guess what? I won't be here today. If I don't keep bang my head against that wall and like, getting sick and tired of that pain, guess what? I'll still be stuck. It's a lot of our brothers and sisters years later that's still stuck. And the
Mhm.
key is, like you said right now, I applaud the work that you're doing. And what I want you to do is right now is provide your link and everything. So what I can do is put it up with this piece so people can always go back and I'm saying, well, man, I like that. What can I do to be a part of that? And that's what this is all about. And what I'm saying is like what it is like sooner or later, guess what? We have to get uncomfortable,
Mhm.
okay, to get comfortable and understand exactly what it's what and what we're really dealing with.
Right. No, I thank you guys because this as someone said in the chat, it's a very important conversation. We don't have to agree on all points. We don't have to have the same methods, but we have to have the heart that says, you know what, whatever method I'm using, I want to help somebody be better. And that's what makes the world go round. We here it is. We have three different people on here with three different paths, but yet doing the same work, bringing awareness, helping people, and doing that. Your path, Glaze, was vastly different from mine, right? But yet you can utilize that platform to speak into somebody's life and help them see something different. Dr. Lee, she, went to school, became a doctor, got all of her credentials, doing her thing, right? Like that's a vast, she gonna reach a vast audience in what I'm gonna reach, right? But whatever audience you have, just reach it. Just get out there and do it. Like it doesn't, you don't have to do it like Glaze, you don't have to do it like Dr. Lee, you don't have to do it like me. But you got something to offer, and that's the thing that we got to realize in this world. If we want this world to be a better place, we really got to realize I got something significant to offer somebody else.
You know what? Even right now, if anybody looking, you see it right there, www.empower1ct.org. www.empower1ct.org. I'm about to go ahead and copy and paste the next link. So right now is this is the way right now you can reach out personally to Charles Allen to basically right now understand and see right now what he can help you with or what you can help him and his organization with, because that's what it's all about. Do people add value or they take value away?
Man.
So, and I guess I want to close by saying all of it really comes from basic understanding, having hope, like don't give up on hope, keeping those positive thoughts all the time in the forefront of your mind. Think positive thoughts, even when you're in unhealthy situations. There's hope to get out of those unhealthy situations. We have 9 billion people in the world. You are just one of them. The whole world is here for you. And so, if you have hope to get out of those situations, like you said, you can find a way and connect with positive, caring people that can lead you in a more positive direction. The first place that we have, I know we're looking for magical answers. There's no magical answer for this. We can't control what we're born into. But oftentimes we find caring adults in schools, like guidance counselors and social workers and principals and people who are in many ways charged to try to be, keep their students in class, in school, and to complete, that process through graduation. So try to connect with those people. Try to connect with relatives if you feel that your parents aren't necessarily strong enough to lead you in the directions that you would like to. There's blogs and podcasts and things that are, that's what YouTube here. It's like a full library of information that if you just Google, Google owns YouTube, right? Just Google whatever it is that you're interested in, something positive will come up for you and you can expose yourself to that. Don't give up, because it's very easy, as Glaze would say, to get yourself into trouble and very difficult to get out. It's like losing weight. I think Gorgeous Geek said that. She said, you know what? When you're on a diet and you're trying to lose weight, as soon as you stop that diet, if you don't change your
Yeah.
mindset around eating, your understanding of food, the benefits, the risks, whatever it is, you're going to put on that weight and some. So it's all about changing your mindset. It's not easy. Meditation is important. Finding that quiet time so that you can have a connection with yourself, with your body, with your mind. You understand what's going on. And when you're feeling some level of discomfort, that you find someone that you can talk to, a caring adult. It doesn't necessarily need to be a therapist or a mental health practitioner or something, or someone in your faith-based community, but someone who you trust and who you believe in. And I hope that we spend a better, I think one of the things that I hope for is that parents are mindful when they're having children, that this is a obligation, it's a commitment. The same way you wake up to go to work every day is the same way you need to devote to your children. And if you made this decision to love and have unprotected sex and have a child, that's a commitment. You guys need to figure out a way to connect so that you can leave something healthy in mind and body to this young person that you produced. And that's all I have to say on that. And I feel like there's like some sparkles on my screen. Is anyone else seeing that? I'm like, or is that just me? Was that you, Glaze? Did you put sparkles on my screen? You know what? You do some shady stuff. You know what? Mm-hmm.
You know what? Like I say, you are thinking too much about the
Baby,
situation. I am
I'm
not that tech savvy. So listen, you are the beast. If anything, I'm not. I'm gonna throw sparkle
I
on
feel
beauty
like
right here.
I feel like
I'm
I
not
feel
gonna throw.
sparkles. I'm like, is
Hey,
that sparkles in
listen. This is what we're gonna do. I got Charles at empower1ct.org. Also, like I say, it will be in the description box when I end this piece. And right now, I'm gonna allow them saying Charles Allen to have his closing remarks. And what I'm gonna do is, honestly speaking, go through a few of the comments, because once again, when people join the platform, I want them and let them know right now we appreciate that. And right now, I want their voice to be heard, and that's going to be an ongoing thing, because I don't want, oh, they ain't paying me no mind. No, we are paying your mind, but we're trying to stay within our time frame and be respected to others.
Yeah. No, just first of all, I want to say thank you guys for your platform, because um, being introduced to you, and then first time I heard about it, just went through and listened to some of your other broadcasts and different things of that nature. And I just applaud the energy that you bring to the hard topics, right? Like those are just things that we have to do. But, as we close this out, I just want to say to those that are listening, thank you. But yet, use your energy, use your power, use your influence, and whatever you have, use it to help somebody else. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. And like I said right now, is thank you for coming on the platform. We truly appreciate it. And like I tell you, I think it was definitely very powerful and very enlightening, because that's what it's all about. And a lot of times people don't understand that, because you look at where you was born, how you was born. It's not like your grandparent raised you; it's your great great parent raised you. So when you look at that, basically you was born by like like the third generation. So in all honesty, your value going to be more old school than new school. So a lot of your ways, and people don't understand it, like, why he act like that? Because once again, you only doing what you are taught to do, and
Yeah.
everybody, they don't do that no more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Period. But it's a reality, and we don't understand it. So
Yeah.
thank you very much. And like I said, I truly appreciate it. And like I told you, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put a few things and go across it right quick. Tina, thank you for joining us. Salute, thank you. You
Thank
know
you,
what I'm
Tina.
saying? Amar Davis, salute Brian
Hey,
Gibbs. You know,
Emma, how are
we
you?
appreciate
I
that.
love all the emojis. Did he
Look,
say salute to Glaze and he forgot about me? Okay, well,
listen, Tina say everybody want to be a gangster until it's time to be one. Wow. You know,
that's
Maurice came in. It looked like he just got married. Shout out, congratulations. That's a beautiful picture. You know, I could be wrong, but it looked like you holding that lovely bride, like you just got married. So you know what? If you did
oh,
get married, whether it's today or whether it was 20 years ago, guess what? Keep that fire burning. Treat that
yes,
woman like your queen. The way you treating her, the way you got her on, treat her like that from day one to eternity. And guess what? Y'all will have a blissful
Let's do
relationship.
it.
He
and
say,
that's where it starts. That's exactly where it starts with the
he
two
said,
people that are coming together in holy matrimony.
Can I
Yes.
can I continue?
Yes, yes, sir.
Brian Glaze, how do you feel about the crime going on in Atlanta and a DA that cracking down on them right now, Maurice? Only thing you have to do is tune back in. Cause me and Dr. Elisa, we spoke about that. You know, we got New Orleans could have got killed over fake jury. You're right. You know what I'm saying? When
That's
I
right,
stuck
New
when
Orleans.
when Panama came out there with that fake jury or whatever by him fronting, and a lot of people do that because they can't afford it. But what we have to do as people, stop being professional people pleaser. You know, right now he trying to impress the girls, so he want to wear a bunch of fake jewelry because no, what for? Right now, people start loving yourself, man. Love who you are. Years ago, I used to have a complex about my fat. No, I don't care nothing about my fat. No, I love my
Can't with
fat.
the
No,
nose. I
it's better.
can't with the
It's
nose. I
better to
can't with the nose.
you know, people want nose job, lip job, boob job, butt job.
I
Man, love
can't with
who
the
you are,
nose.
man. Love who you are. That's the difference.
Right.
You know, so even right now, as I'm reading this comment, you know, and I might right now is, you know, right now, I don't mean nothing. Here it is, Walt Lee, man. Shout out to my brother Walt Lee, powerful
Hey,
brother. Ever
Walter.
since he came on this platform, he always speak. It's a slow and long erosion of morale, values, and standard, familiar enforcement and accountability. Come on, man. You know, and we can't forget my man Terrence Gangster William. Wow. All the way from Louisiana, man. We can't forget that. You know, here it is. Here come look at Renee. Hey, Glaze, Dr. Lisa, God
Hey,
bless. God bless you
Renee.
too. You know, and that's what it's all about right now. And look, Renee always be powerful. So right now, don't take nothing personal, Renee. And look, here come Renee, and they need to be able to put community-based resource right in the church. That if a person need help with benefit, housing, job, education, make them resource eligible in church. And you know what? Like I say, very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. And I like that because once again, like I told you right now, is I don't want nobody come on this platform thinking that we're ignoring them. But Renee, you put down too many comments that I cannot respond to all of them. So don't, you know, right now, Garrett, hey, look, my man, Garrett Patterson. What he say? Hit the like button. Folks, listen, if y'all
Hey,
see something out here
hey,
that y'all like,
Gary.
this is what I want you to do. Even what I do, sometimes even while I'm online, folks. And right now, if y'all see me looking down, I'm copying and pasting, send it to people, letting people know we on live. And even right now, once this program is over with, and I challenge you too, Charles, anybody that's in your phone from Messenger, anybody that's right now is on your Facebook DM or on Instagram, that's what I do. I send
Yeah.
it. So once again, I want people, wait a minute here. And then we're going to want to rebroadcast that so people can definitely see what we're talking about. Because once again, it's the message is powerful and we want people to see it just in case they miss it. Garrett Patterson came back, change of location. Maybe you need a new beginning, sunshine. Every day you can be the person, you can be the person you want to be. And that's great.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
that's everything's all about. I'm almost out. I'm almost done. Let me see what else I'm gonna do. Hey, I'm gorgeous geek. Wow, this is a really good conversation that need to be had.
Thank you, gorgeous geek.
Mimi Green, each one teach one. Thank you. Shout out. Thank you.
Yep. Shout out to Mimi.
Let me see. Hold up. I like this Val Hawkins. what I'm saying? Does Dr. Elisa do one-on-ones? So right
Yeah.
now is
Yeah, to go to my IG at Dr. Elisa's World, the real Dr. Elisa on IG, and my link tree is there. It may also be in my on my YouTube page at Dr. Elisa's World, and you can set up a. I have a calendar there, and you can set up an appointment.
loving yourself is the only way to allow other people to love you. I love you, Glaze. Hey, Renee, I love you too. Just want to say, y'all disagreement was on the same plane, just such a different angle, which is good because it add another perspective to the same problem. And that's the difference. It's all about right now. People come on this platform, what we're going to do, we're going to be mindful and respectful. And right now, I don't want nobody to be, you got to pick and choose what you're going to say. As long as we mindful and respectful, that's what counts. But anyway, right now, is you know what? Like I say, I got to get your information on Mr. Allen, and I'll get that from look, here it is right now. Look at that. Val Hawkins, she was still there. She said, thanks, Doc. You know, and I think it's very important going forward. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna close it with the recap by reading these comments. So letting people know that guess what? We are listening, that we do care. And right now is guess what? That's what this is all about. Greeting for the Most High. But anyway, right now, listen, folks, thank you for joining. We truly, truly appreciate it. God bless. Until the next time, you know, peace, love, and prosperity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Right.